Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Warrior Report here on HPC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thank you for joining us. We are brought to you by Russell & Associates and coming to you from the 111 Riverfront Building, the Latch Development Center in downtown Winona. We'll talk about baseball first, and head coach Seth Wing is here. And let's talk about Minnesota State. Obviously, that was kind of a difficult one. You split two really close games. How do you feel your team played against?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment when we played Minnesota State last Wednesday, they were leading the league, first in the NSIC, or 25th in the country, 5th or 6th in the region. So they had put together quite the resume, and quite frankly, I thought we outplayed them the entire day. Game one, we just kept the pressure on the entire game for 7 innings and just couldn't get it done with runners in scoring position. We were 1 for 9. At one point in the middle part of the game, we were out hitting them 10-1, 10-2, but we just couldn't get that 2-out hit to get some separation. We took a 3-1 lead in the 5th inning, and then they ended up scoring 2 to tie it up, and then they walked us off in the bottom of the 7th. So, but it showed the guys that we could compete with them, and I think the constant pressure that we put on game one just propelled us knowing that we could beat them, and we did get it done in game two. So I thought overall that was as good as we pitched and as good as we played defensively in a day. Mm-hmm. And so it showed by being able to take down the conference leader at the moment, and was really happy walking out of there, but quite frankly thought we could have got 2.
Yeah, and then that takes you to Upper Iowa, and I know that there was some games that you wanted to get, and I know that one of the things we were talking about was if you get one win against your next opponents, you would have beaten everybody in the conference at least once, which would give you some big fuel going into the NSIC tournament. Unfortunately, Upper Iowa got you 3 times. So tell us a little bit about that series.
Yeah, those super competitive series, and all the credit goes to Upper Iowa. It is frustrating because we did feel, that was one of our goals, beat everybody in the league, and we just didn't get it done. We lost 2 extra inning games. A very raucous crowd on Saturday. They had some sort of deal going on, and a lot of people created an interesting environment, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But our guys worked through it. They competed. We were up, in the 9th inning of game 2 by 2 runs, and had one of our better pitchers on the mound. And again, they hit a 2-run home run to tie it in the bottom of the 9th. So you got to give them credit. They kept it going, and then they ended up winning on a walk-off bunt for hit in the bottom of the 11th. So they put pressure on us all weekends. I quite frankly, they played spectacular. They placed their bunts perfect. The small ball, we couldn't do anything about it. And I think they played absolutely perfect, and that's why they got the series win. They defended well. They kept pressure on us. And yesterday during game 3, we kind of flipped the script. They had a 2-run lead in the top of the 9th, and we scored 2 to tie it up and force extra innings. And so again, they score on a scrappy play in the bottom of the 10th inning, runner on third base, 1 out. We get the ground ball to our first baseman, and they go on contact play and bang bang play at the plate. Ball got away from our catcher, and they walked us off. So 2 amazing baseball games, and again, all the credit goes to them. It'll be interesting how our guys respond here tomorrow against Augustana and this weekend, because this is the first time we really have felt in the conference a little bit of adversity. So we'll work through it, and we're excited to get back to work today and get on the road tomorrow.
All right, so you're currently 7th in the NSIC. I think you're about a half game ahead of Wayne State, and it looks like from where the schedule is and where 9th place is that you're probably going to get into the NSIC tournament, but you don't want to rest on that. Obviously, You want to keep going. How do you feel your team is right now? I mean, it's hard to kind of get a feel about where you are, because the hitting is there, the pitching is there, the bullpen. I don't know. Where do you feel the bullpen is?
Yeah. This is a week ago. If we were to talk right after the Mankato game, we're feeling like we can beat anybody, and we can, certainly. And so I feel good. The guys, they gave themselves a cushion. What we talked about after the game yesterday, we gave ourselves a cushion to stub our toe, and we did this last weekend. Thankfully, we still control our own fate, and what we see as a coaching staff, if we get 1 win in these last 5, we'll make the tournament. The issue is I don't want to just make the tournament, and I talked to him yesterday. It isn't about just getting that 1 win to get in. It's about playing good baseball and consistent baseball into the tournament. And quite frankly, we've been swinging consistently all year. Our pitching has gotten better, and our defense, our infield play has been very inconsistent and unfortunate. And so if we can clean that up and just get in good rhythm and play well defensively, then we feel great. Quite frankly, I told our coaching staff going into the day yesterday, if we play well defensively on the infield, we will win today. And we made 5 errors. So kind of predicted the outcome based on our defensive play. But that being said, the guys are working hard and their minds are in a good place. So they just have to put it together consistently over a 5-game stretch going into the tournament. And then the way I see it in the tournament, you've got to play well for 4 or 5 games in a row in an 8-team tournament that's double elimination. So we have potentially 10 games here that could really make a wonderful splash for the season and cap off the regular season and the conference part of it. So.
All right, you said you head off now to Augustana. Now they're the #1 team in the NSIC. So how do you set up against Augustana?
Yeah, the way that we flipped our pitching, we went from our top pitchers throwing on weekends to now going after the bye. We threw all of our best arms at Mankato. And then now we'll have them tomorrow at Augustana, and then hopefully midweek. Obviously, the conference tournament starts on a Wednesday, so it was having the bye when we did allowed us to line up our pitching for our best pitching now in the middle of the weeks versus the weekends, because the conference tournament starts in the middle of the week. So we did go into Upper Iowa with our best arms head thrown at Mankato, so we had to gut through that. So now we have them back, and I certainly feel very good about going with the arms that we have. If we defend well tomorrow, we will win a ball game. So I'm excited about that, and just to show the league that we're legit and that we can compete with anybody, and we get to the tournament, we can go win it.
All right, about a minute left in this segment, and I know you don't want to look past Augustana, but then you have Sioux Falls to round out the regular season, who doesn't have a very good record, but that can be deceiving. What do you know about Sioux Falls?
Yeah, they swing the heck out of the ball. It kind of makes me nervous, obviously, the way that we can hit and the way that they can hit. And you saw some of our scores in the middle of the part of the year in our field, certainly. But we just have, it's going to be a beautiful weekend. We've got our senior day on Friday, so much to celebrate. We have an alumni reunion on Saturday. We're going to have great crowds. There's going to be good juice in the stadium. And I just feel so good how our guys are going to respond to that atmosphere. So going into that series, I feel really good. But we know they're going to put the ball in play, and we're going to have to match them offensively, which we're the top 2 hitting league teams by average in the league. So could be a high-scoring weekend, but that being said, I like our chances being at home.
All right, very good. Thank you for that. We're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report, and when we come back, Steele Beatty will join us right after this.
For over 60 years, Russell & Associates has been helping individual and business clients achieve what matters to them. Our trusted advisors have the expertise and experience to help with long-term plans for personal finance, business finance, or wealth management. Focus on what matters most. Call Russell & Associates certified public accountants and advisors today at 507-452-3100 or visit us online at russellcpafirm.com.
Meet Jenny Siseski of Edina Realty. With nearly 30 years' experience, she knows that right now is the best time to sell your home. Jenny will help you get top dollar, higher than ever before. With today's low interest rates, it's time to upgrade your home and increase its value. High demand and low inventory also make this a perfect time to list your home. Call for a free market analysis. Contact Jenny Siseski at Edina Realty today, 507-458-7038.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Russell & Associates, coming to you from the Lodge Development Center, 111 Riverfront Street in downtown Winona. Steele Beatty joins us. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
You've kind of had a roundabout way to get here to Winona State, coming from Wisconsin first, and then going the community college route, and then University of Charleston, and now here. Tell us a little bit about your choices to go to college and why you chose where you went first.
So I started off early high school. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my future, and really found a passion later in my high school career with baseball, and I thought I could find a career in it. Found it a little late, so that's why I kind of went the community college route. Ended up picking a really good school. I had some really good coaches on that team, a bunch of really good guys. We ended up making 2 World Series runs when I went there. And I ended up having a pretty good sophomore year there, and then got recruited to go to Charleston. Just didn't have a great experience there, so Thankfully, Coach Wing and staff had me here.
You know, it's always interesting to find out how people find out about, you know, different places. So how did you find out about Winona State?
A lot of word of mouth. So I've known a couple buddies from travel ball from high school that go to school, that play here, obviously, Bailey, Nathan Platter, and Miller Wallace. I played all with them throughout high school, and one of my old high school teammates actually played with Wing at Cornell.
Okay.
So I reached out to all those guys. I was like, hey, what do you think of school here? What do you think of Wing? I heard nothing but the best, so I figured I'd make my way over here.
All right. Now, all those kind of connections and all those things with the transfer portal and everything, it's got to be, you know, daunting to see all these names come up and all these choices. So how do you find out about Steele, and how do you decide that Steele is someone that you want to bring into the program?
Yeah, it's crazy how it all works out, but like he said, the word of mouth is pretty powerful, and the baseball community and the sport community is pretty tight. And so when he did his research, we did the same thing and reached out to several people about his ability and all of that. Talking with Coach Riley about last year, and just only having left-handed hitters in the outfield really drew me to, like, we need to find a right-handed hitting outfielder, because it just didn't go well against the lefties last year. So once the conversations were had and the interest was there, and it really was confirmed too by the player that I coached at Cornell that really talked about his ability as well, then it was just a done deal at that point once Steele decided he wanted to come here, and he's just taken advantage of every opportunity he's gotten. He's had an amazing senior year.
Very good. Okay, so you're an older player, you come into a situation where you have a new coach in Coach Wing, and some of these players have been here for a number of years. How do you fit in with the rest of the team?
Oh my, the camaraderie here is almost unexplainable. I've never met a more together group of guys than this team we have here. Like I said, we made 2 World Series runs, and I thought that team was super close together. Then I come here and I meet these guys, and it is just like we're all brothers. It's almost unexplainable.
All right, so obviously, you know, that's got to motivate you even more to perform, and you have been. You know, we see your name pop up in all these different things, a couple hits here and there, you know, big key situations. How have you found your ability to perform here at Winona State?
Just staying relaxed. It helps having guys that can do the same thing up and down the lineup. I mean, all the way 1 through 9, we have confidence in every guy, and it really helps.
All right. Talk about these late games and what you guys need to do, both you personally and the rest of the team, to kind of propel yourselves into the playoffs.
I mean, we always talk about the real guys come out to play when the time matters, and I really feel like a lot of our guys are going to come out when it really matters. Even 1 through 9, like I said, every one of them is going to find our way through.
All right, and you know, with the COVID situation, everything is kind of weird. Do you still have 1 more year left, or is this it for you?
I do have 1 more year left, but I think I should hang it up after this. I'm feeling pretty old as it is.
Okay, so what are your future plans then? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for a career in sales. So I got a couple interviews coming up. We'll see what happens, but yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, very good. Well, congratulations on what you've done so far. It's good to have you here at Winona State, and hopefully you guys can make a big run here at the end of the year.
We're going to do our best. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report, and when we come back, we'll talk softball with head coach Greg Jones right after this.
For over 60 years, Russell & Associates has been helping individual and business clients achieve what matters to them. Our trusted advisors have the expertise and experience to help with long-term plans for personal finance, business finance, or wealth management. Focus on what matters most. Call Russell & Associates Certified Public Accountants and Advisors today at 507-452-3100 or visit us online at russellcpafirm.com.
I'm a pretty calm, cool, and collective guy, but... Sorry, what's your name? Yeah, Evan. Hi, Evan. Yeah, we have no internet. Nothing. I don't know. It just stopped working.
The internet is down.
I know, I'm on the phone with them. No, that was my wife.
I can't get online again.
Yeah, I'm talking to Evan. No, my daughter, my wife. Okay, can you guys not talk? Sorry. Yes, we have the white boxes. I see one. They got horns on them.
The one with the horns.
Yes, I see one. We have 11 of those.
I was on the phone and I got disconnected.
Okay, it's not about you. We switched our broadband service provider. Devin put in 11, Evan. How are we supposed to know which one's 7 and which one?
I thought it was Devin.
Who's Devin?
I got no service. Honey, you're blocking.
You can't stand there. You're blocking it. Don't block it. And the best part, I never have to speak to Evan or Devin ever again.
I think this one's 11.
11. We're not looking for 11. No, we're looking for, are we looking for 7, Evan, or 11? We have 2 next to each other. That's bad. 2 white boxes. Evan? Evan?
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We are brought to you by Russell & Associates, coming to you from the 111 Riverfront Building, the Latch Development Center in downtown Winona. Time now to talk softball. Head Coach Greg Jones, thanks for joining us here today.
You bet.
Let's talk a little bit. You had a lot of games,
Yes.
so we got a lot to get through here. But Minnesota State, that was a little bit difficult. A couple losses there. Tell us a little bit about how you played in those games.
Yeah, it was a tough day. I mean, obviously, anytime you lose 2 is tough. We were coming off a long weekend, and not to make any excuses, so were they. I think both of us, both coaches, kind of wanted to move the game back to Wednesday. It had been long weekends, a lot of travel for both of us. They had been in Aberdeen. We were in Bismarck. We both had a long way to come back to play those games, and I think if we hadn't moved basically every other game on our calendar because of weather, we probably would have pushed to Wednesday just to give both teams more rest. In the end, I think we both looked at it as we've moved so much, kids are so out of sorts, let's just play it where it is. Then we've got more rest on the back end. It was 2 tired teams playing each other. And at the end of the day, we just came up a run short in the first game. We got off to a real rocky start in that first one. I think gave up 4 or 5 runs in the first inning. But I was really happy with how our team played and responded to that. Abby Smith responded with putting up 6 innings of zeros after that first inning. And then offensively, we just kind of kept chipping away and chipping away and chipping away, finally tied it up, and then just got beaten extra innings. And then game 2, we just didn't do enough to win the game. It was, I think it was 4-2 or something like that. It was a close game. We had some opportunities, but it was just kind of 2 teams playing. There was no real extra juice in that for that Mankato-Winona rivalry, and in the end, just ended up being 2 losses for us, which were tough to swallow, but I thought we bounced back well after that.
All right, and then Minnesota State Moorhead then was next, and you got both of those, and again, close games. Tell us a little bit about those games.
Yeah, great weekend, really, because we had a lot of mental toughness wins, and we were behind in both of those Moorhead games, and I'm not saying we should have lost or should have won. It was just 2 really tough games and grinded out affairs. And for how we didn't play on Tuesday, I thought we did play on Saturday and Sunday. And Moorhead's a really good team. Moorhead was picked to finish dead last in the conference, picked to finish 16th out of 16 teams, and they came in tied with us for 3rd place. We knew how tough of a game it was going to be. They do a really unique thing in our sport. They operate their pitching staff more like a baseball staff, where it's every time through the order you see a different pitcher. So they have 10 pitchers on their roster, and they have 0 complete games. They have 115 appearances in 40 games. And so we knew we were going to see a lot and have to adjust a lot, and our kids, I thought, did a really good job with that and just kind of kept fighting and found ways to win the games.
All right, a little foreshadowing. You'll be facing them in the tournament, but we'll get back to that in just a second. Then it was Northern State that you played, and tell us how you ended the regular season.
Yeah, the Northern State game was, that first game was really fun with an 11-inning affair. We haven't had one like that all year, and we were down to our last strike a couple of times, and literally down to our last strike in the 8th. And in the 7th, we had 2-run homer to tie it. We're down 4-2 in the 7th. I thought we were going to go ahead in the bottom of the 6th. We had a chance to win it in the bottom, or take the lead in the bottom of the 6th and then go shut the door. And we didn't. We left runners on base. And I thought, oh man. And then we went right out, got a kid on, and hit a 2-run homer. Libby just continues to hit big home runs for us, and that tied it in the 7th. And then down to our last strike in the 8th, trailing again. We'd made an error to give them a run in the top of the 8th, and then Marissa on a 1-2 count hits one out of the park to tie it. And then, Skylar came in through great in relief, kept them at bay, and then we finally won it with a double in the 11th. So that was exciting. And then, obviously, finished out the nightcap. We got hot early, scored some runs early with the home run, got 5 runs via the home run in the first 2 innings, and then ended up winning that one. So it was a great senior weekend. I thought all 3 of our seniors had great weekends. Weather wasn't great, but the wins were, and the way they produced and the way everybody played for them and rallied around them was tremendous.
All right, yeah, you mentioned the seniors, and we talked about Libby last week about the home run chase where she is right now. And so I think she has 16 this season, which is 4 short of the single season record, and she's 6 short of tying the career record for home runs at Winona State, which is obviously really cool.
Yeah, and when the season started, I wouldn't have guessed either one of those records to be in jeopardy, and I wouldn't even have guessed Molly's record of being number 2 to be in jeopardy. And man, is she hitting them now in bunches, and I mean, she's just hitting well. The ball's leaving the ballpark because she's hitting well, and she's so powerful and has such great exit velocity and all those types of things. But her base hits are as hard as her home runs, and so suddenly she's making a run at it. We're going to need to probably play a few more games for her to get there, but hopefully we can make a run in the postseason here and allow the team to have some success, and then see where she can end up in that leaderboard.
All right, a couple minutes left in this segment, and you go to the NSIC playoffs next, and as we said, it's Minnesota State Moorhead. And now it looks like, at least towards the end of the season, that Abby Halas has moved back into that second starter position. Is that where you see things going right now, or can you not say at this point?
I would say if I knew. We just talked last night after the game. Abby really threw well. Abby Halas really threw well on Saturday. And then Sunday to start with, she had no-hit stuff, those first 3 innings. And okay, that little rest we gave her really must be capitalizing. And then she wasn't quite, not like she was bad or anything. Right. She was dominant for about a 10-inning stretch. And then, now, and again, some of it has to do with the defense too. And who are we defensively behind the pitching staff we put out there? I really don't know how we're going to go about it. Because neither of the Abbies are throwing poorly. Skylar looked great in relief. I think that's more her niche right now. I don't think Skylar will start a game for us in the tournament unless we just think that's where we need to be in the moment. But I think it's really a matter of matchups for us now, and how are we going to do it, and how are we going to play it, and do we need anybody to go 4 or 5 innings? Can we reduce games and use multiple arms? And so again, a little bit it has to do with how we defend behind it and what our lineup looks behind it. The other day in that game against Moorhead, we basically ran out of players, and we ended up running a catcher into the outfield just with 2 outs in the last inning. And I just looked at Logan, who I just put in to pinch run, and said, "You're still in the lineup in the DP slot. Go play left field." And okay, and I don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
Not that I don't trust Logan, but I don't like to run out of players, and so the pitching side has to kind of work with what we're doing that way too. So, but to Abby Halas's credit, she really looked good in the circle this weekend too, and so it does enter back into how we want to manage things.
All right, less than a minute. How do you feel facing Minnesota State Moorhead in the playoffs?
Well, familiarity, I guess, is a good thing. We know a lot about them because we just scouted them and did everything, prior to the game, and then played them for 2 games. It's always hard to beat a team 3 times. It's always hard to, we came from behind to beat them. A lot of emotion, all that kind of thing. Senior day, a lot went into it, and now you kind of got to regroup and do it all over again against their hunger. But at the same time, it's the conference tournament. I think everybody's ready to go, and so there's no good matchup in the conference tournament. Trying to navigate the 10 best teams in the league or the 9 other best teams in the league is no picnic, and at this point, anybody can win it and anybody can lose it. So whoever we play, we're just excited to be there and happy to be playing instead of being home.
All right, very good. We're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report. When we come back, we'll talk with Tegan Amosa right after this.
For over 60 years, Russell & Associates has been helping individual and business clients achieve what matters to them. Our trusted advisors have the expertise and experience to help with long-term plans for personal finance, business finance, or wealth management. Focus on what matters most. Call Russell & Associates Certified Public Accountants and Advisors today at 507-452-3100 or visit us online at russellcpafirm.com.
Meet Jenny Saseski of Edina Realty. With nearly 30 years' experience, she knows that right now is the best time to sell your home. Jenny will help you get top dollar, higher than ever before. With today's low interest rates, it's time to upgrade your home and increase its value. High demand and low inventory also make this a perfect time to list your home. Call for a free market analysis. Contact Jenny Saseski at Edina Realty today, 507-458-7038.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25, brought to you by Russell & Associates and coming to you from the 111 Riverfront Building, the Latch Development Center in downtown Winona. Tegan Amosa joins us. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
We always kind of go back a little bit to try to find out who everybody is before they come to Winona State, and how you feel when you get here. I got to go back to you were a player that kind of lost your senior season in high school, which is always kind of difficult, but it kind of shapes who you are when you come to Winona State. So what was it like to kind of miss out on your last year of high school softball?
Well, it was very sad. I was very upset about that. I was really ready to go into my senior season strong, finish out my high school season strong with a good team, and then obviously got canceled. But it just made me go into my college season and my college career just even more ready to finish out my college career strong and my last 4 years strong. So.
Yeah, from what I understand, you set your single season home run record in high school in your junior year, and you were going to have a bigger year after that.
I was,
right?
yes, I was. That's why I was so excited. I was like, I know I can beat my record. I'm ready to do it, and then it just shut down right before we were ready to start the season. So it was very upsetting, but it's how it happens, you know.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I heard about you was that you kind of set up a gym at your house and you're kind of working out and getting ready to go. How did that help you coming into college?
Just kept me ready to go. Obviously during COVID, it was really hard to go out in public, do things, stay trained. I go to a hitting coach and I wasn't able to go to him as much, so just hitting in my garage, working out in my basement, staying ready to go into college strong and ready to go.
All right, so as a coach, you know, I mean, obviously everybody's in the same situation, but how does that feel then, having somebody miss a season and then come in maybe cold a little bit because you went with Tegan right away at the beginning?
Yeah, and to the kids' credit, everybody kind of found a way, and whether it be the kids that are on our current roster that, you know, suddenly our season got shut down, you know, recruits coming in. I think the biggest challenge we faced as a staff, we knew how elite this group was that came in, that junior class, and they had all lost a year, and then when they got there to campus, they couldn't live together. Everybody's living separately. And I think the strength of our team is our culture and our family. And suddenly they weren't a part of that. And we couldn't start fall ball on time. And so we didn't know when we were going to get to start. And when we finally did start, it was cold and it was late in the fall. And it was just really hard to come together. And so not only did you not know what you were going to get out of Tegan or anybody else as an athlete, you didn't know if they're going to stay around, because at some point it was going to be easier for them to leave and go back home. And the fact that they all persevered through that and have continued to lead us where we are and be a part and ingrained of that leadership and culture has been amazing.
All right, so talk about now this season, because you got to the end of the regular season, you're heading into the playoffs now, and this team seems to be playing some of their best softball here at the end of the year. Tell us how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think we've played a lot of tough games recently. I mean, every conference game has been a grind, a tough game. It's well thought out, and I think all of those games really helped us form into the team we are now and just build that mental toughness, and I think that can lead us a long way through postseason and the conference tournament.
All right, so personally for you and as a team, what do you guys need to do in order to play against the Minnesota State Moorhead team that, as Coach said, throws a bunch of different pitchers out there, so you never really get into a rhythm?
Right. Just keep taking our at-bats, not focusing on who that pitcher is, but just taking our at-bats, staying ready, staying tough, and just playing our softball when we're having fun. And that's when we're the best, is when we're having fun with each other. So. All
right, so you're a junior, and you saw, you know, the senior celebration. Does that kind of give you an extra impetus, I guess, to play harder, to play for those seniors and get them some wins as well?
For sure. I love all of our seniors so much, and I knew that day was a big day for them. It was very special, and getting 2 wins would just be the cherry on top for that day. And I knew all of us on the team really wanted to play our hearts out for them.
All right, very good. Well, thank you for taking the time here today, and
thank you.
Good luck this week in the playoffs.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you for watching the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We'll see you next time.